moms need energy to cross the finish line, whether it's at the end of the school year or just the end of a busy week. So we're sharing a mom-approved strategy to help you recharge and power through. Studio 5 contributor and Back to Basics founder Connie Sokol joins me. So what do you do when your energy is tapped out? I mean, this is a pretty common problem for women, probably men too.
Exactly. Brownies always help immediately. But we're talking long-term.
That's my go-to. I'm glad that that's shared.
Right? And so this is so funny because several weeks ago, I had this experience where I just could feel there was just all this tidal wave of things that were happening, and I could feel my energy almost like IVs in my arm and just like being sapped. And I thought, and two things came to mind. One was pay attention and take action. And so that's what I did. And that's what I wanted to share because I talk to a lot of women, especially in May. It's insane. They call it the Mom's December without gifts. It's just nutty. And then we're going into summer, which is going to be even nuttier. And so I just think this is so important for women, all of us, to recognize and know what to do with it.
You know, it's funny you say that because I remember every morning last summer, I had these two babies who are a year old, and I would wake up with just this feeling that I was on like American Gladiator, whatever it's called now, where there's that treadmill that goes up and somebody's just spraying soap on it as I run. I'm like, boom, boom, just hitting my head.
And then falling in the water.
Yes,
yeah,
constantly doing that. So how do we re-energize? What about the rest? What do we do?
And to be realistic, because this is so, I think one of the biggest things is just being able to identify this is what is happening. I'm not just tired, but I'm talking about not just I don't feel like doing this. I'm talking about I am losing it. Like I'm dying here on the vine. First thing is identify the energy drainers. So it may be different for different times of life. There's the young mom, there's the teenage mom, there's the adult children mom, and those energy drainers will be different. And so we could talk about them all day long, but one that was a shock to me was social media. I literally only post a few minutes a day. I don't have time to do any more. And yet it wasn't that. I even post uplifting messages, so it wasn't that. It was this stewardship. It was this feeling in the back of my mind, and women all have these different things that pulse in the back of their mind. I gotta do, I should be doing, I better make sure and get that done. And so I just took that off my plate. I have BYU interns and I just gave that to them and it took it off. That may be different for other women, but it may be something like, I keep worrying about, you know, how clean the counters are. I keep worrying about the yard. Just do something to take it off your plate. I was able to give it to somebody else and they took it and it was beautiful. You might be able to hire a 15-year-old in your neighborhood and have them come and do that. Hire a 15-year-old girl to come and do your bathrooms and just get it off your plate. So whatever that energy drainer thought or experience is, just do something about it. Even if it's just short-term, ideally long-term.
How important is rest in this equation? I mean, we need to identify, and then what do we do about that?
Yes, once you identify, then carve out the time for rest. There is no time for rest. And I was laughing because one of the girls I was talking to the other day said, you know, I didn't get my break, you know, and they were at this fast food restaurant. I'm supposed to get breaks at certain times. And I thought, this is so true. We moms do not have built-in sanctioned breaks. And so we have got to take them. We only have X amount of juice. And if we don't respect our body and listen to it, we are going to tank. So it's that carving, that rest. And even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's sitting waiting at dance and you just lean back the seat and you just rest for 10 minutes, whatever that looks like. I actually said, I am going to have my son do some play dates because the thought that came to me is I need a week. I need a week off. But I knew that that was not possible. Kids had dance competitions, track. And so I just thought I'll do a sort of a mini, like a staycation kind. I'll just do it differently. So I gave him a couple of extra play dates. He was thrilled. I had every day between that and preschool a couple of hours that I could just lay there and let what was happening wash over, assimilate, process it, and let it go. It was huge.
And you had an experience that you've talked about that you got energy when you didn't think you had it.
Oh, it was crazy because after I allowed myself to do this, even within a couple of days, I could not believe how quickly I wanted to like, oh, I wonder how so-and-so's doing. Oh, I'm gonna drop by some pumpkin bread to her. Not homemade, I got it from yours. But what I'm saying is,
it still counts.
It's this natural thing when we were like stressed out down here, here's neutral. We come up to neutral, women have a natural ability to say, oh, this feels so good. I wanna do this for someone else. Or you notice, so-and-so's looking like I did like 4 days ago. I'm gonna drop something by. So it's this beautiful, wonderful women's cycle where we just help one another.
I love that. And so it really is about kind of that
spontaneously serving and just, but not this feeling of I've got to take a casserole, not at all. It's this feeling of, oh, I'm starting to come back to life, and you smile at people and you say, hey, you can come sit with me or whatever it might be. It's that spontaneous connection in that service that we do as women so well.
So why, you know, we do that well. Another thing we do well is feel guilt.
Yes.
How do we get rid of that? How do you deal with that feeling when it comes and you think, gosh, I'd love to take a rest, but I've got 3 kids and a neighbor who needs help, and I should be doing these other things.
Exactly, and I think that is the most important thing that I learned at the end of this week was, now I know, and I will give myself permission. I think women need to know they've got to give themselves permission. This isn't, I want to be spa queen every day and just not, you know, ignore my responsibilities. It's not that. It's I can feel it and I've got to do something about it. And when you do that, everything shifts. It's just this magical thing. My mom just experienced this. She got very sick, was in the hospital, and instead of just jumping up, okay, now I'm, you know, taken out of the hospital to get right back to work, she still was not at full peak. So she went to a hotel for a few days, knew that she just needed to recharge, could walk across the street to work if she needed to, but she just recharged. And after that, listening to your body, you just are able, okay, now I'm ready to go to phase 2. Instead of, you're never quite getting your reserves back to where they need to be. And they'll never always be up to that place you want, but you'll be enough that whatever happens, you've got it. And what's weird is that within a week or two, another tidal wave hit and I had the reserves. If I hadn't have done that, I probably would have been sick. I would have been, I'm not able to function, and then the family can't function. So this is what we want. We want a happy, functioning mom. And that's what you're doing for your family. When you say, I'm giving myself permission, even if they don't understand, even if the neighbors don't understand, that's not what this is about. It's about, I know. I'm listening, I'm respecting, and I'm doing. Then everything shifts.
Yeah, and I find that I respect people who are able to do that and make sure you respect them more. Great ideas. Where can we find more information?
Motherhood Matters is my book right now, and it's on Amazon or ConnieSokol.com. Gives you more thoughts like this and some spiritual uplift, and you just get done and you go, that's the kind of book.
I can take a deep breath. Thanks so much, Connie. We really appreciate it.